guys, welcome to the triathlon series by PR Multisport. I'm Daniel.
I'm Adam.
And we're here to help you get through your first triathlon or your second or third with the least amount of problems and make sure that it's a success so you can have fun, enjoy the experience, and reach your best PR. Some of the things we're going to cover are what to do the day before the race, the day of the race, and how to win the race, hopefully. Some of the things that I want you to think about before you even get to the race, and this is huge, is since this is a USAT sanctioned race, as most races are, HFP does a great job putting on these events, and in order for everyone to stay safe and not have an injury on the course and to follow the USAT rules, we urge you to go to www.usatriathlon.org and look up the USA Triathlon rules and read them and know them. If you don't have a lot of time, there's a highlighted rule group that says which rules are most affected in age group triathlon. Remember, your success as well as the success and health of all the people in the race is dependent on you following the rules. So please check that out before we get started.
So if you look at HFP's website, that's a good time to look at what time transition opens, what time is your wave, if there's a warm-up for the swim, getting down to the swim on time, making sure that you have your whole transition laid out with your towel, have your helmet ready, have your glasses ready. You can have your towel with both your pair of your shoes if you want a goo pack. Anything you need as far as your transition goes. Being down to the warm-up on time for your swim, making sure you have someone maybe letting you know what time is, how it's looking for your swim start, and getting your swim warm-up done, getting some time on the beach to get a little warm-up in, and making sure that you start off the most important part, the swimming, on the right foot.
What I'd like to highlight here is the day before the race. This is where a lot of issues happen. Know where you're going to get to the park where the race is. A lot of people assume that the park is directly off the highway, and in most cases it's another 30-minute drive off the highway. No worse stress in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning trying to get to a race site behind 45 lost triathletes going the wrong direction and slamming on their brakes and doing U-turns in people's front yards. So know where the race site is, know exactly how long it's going to take you to get there, and expect to wait in 5 lines. The line to pull into the park, the line to get your registration materials, the line
to the restroom,
for the restroom, twice or 3 times probably, the line to packet pickup, the line to your chip pickup, and then the line again to the bathroom before the swim. Just plan on extra time the morning of the race. There's nothing more stressful than showing up late, hearing the announcer saying the first wave is starting and you're not even out of the car yet. To make your race successful, just be on time or earlier than you think you need to be. Those are some of the ways that you can relieve some stress before it even begins. Speaking of relieving your stress, the porta-johns are usually at the back of the transition area or the front of the transition area, and that's the first thing I look for when we get there. Make a note where they're at.
So for your race day plan, it's always best to practice like you're going to race. So that's not a time on race day to try out a new supplement or a new goo pack or a new way to get on and off your bike. So come up with your plan of what products you're going to take, when you're going to take them, start implementing them into your couple weeks before your first race or any race, and just come up with a smooth plan of how you're going to get on your bike and what goos, what products you're going to take, and try not to vary from that too much on race day to avoid any type of gastric problems or wrecking on your bike trying to have your shoes on your pedals or things like that.
And for the most part, HFP Racing usually uses Infinite Nutrition, and their website is pretty easy to find. It's infinitenutrition.com, and they will list some of the products that they'll have at races on HFP's race site. So look at the details under each race site before you get there. Know what you're going to be drinking. If it's not something that you can tolerate, bring your own nutrition like Adam had said. The other thing I like to do prior to even leaving my house for the race is making a race list, and I will supply that here in the video, one of the ones that I use. But if you have a written list of items, things you need to accomplish prior to leaving the house, you won't get to the race and forgot your helmet or your bike shoes or your goggles or something ridiculous like a wetsuit. And if you can use your checklist, it makes you a lot less stressed out when you get to the race. You know where everything's at, you packed your bag, you know everything's on site, and you're ready to race safely.
Especially as we get to the hotter part of summer, you want to pay attention looking at your course map, especially for the run. You know, where are those aid stations? Is there just 2? Is there 3? Should you carry a little bit of water with you? You know, trying to, you know, even thinking about, you know, should I try to get some Infinite in my system and some water in my head? And, you know, as far as wearing a visor or glasses, just think about little nuances like that could, you know, planning for your hydration could make or break your race.
Absolutely, I agree. And like Adam said, don't do anything different on a race day that you haven't done in practice, like new running shoes. I almost lost one of my toes a few years back trying to do a half marathon off the bike in shoes I'd never worn before. Really good lesson. The other thing you can do for races, when you get to the race site, you know, go get in the first line, which is going to be your packet pickup, where you need you're going to get 2 wristbands. One goes on the bike, which is at the seat post, and it has a number. And the wristband, then the other one goes on your wrist, and it also has the same number. This has helped you identify that that bike is owned by the person wearing the wristband. It will not be able to be taken out of transition area after the race if you don't have the matching wristband. And the wristbands are all color coordinated depending on the race that you have signed up for. Super Sprint, Sprint, Olympic, or half if it's available will have a different color that is literally synced to the arrows on the bike course and the arrows and the markings in the transition area as to where to rack. So talking about racking your bike, maybe Adam, you'll go over some of the things about setting up your transition.
Yeah. So looking at you know, planning ahead again, looking at the course maps through HFP, you want to look at, you know, where is transition area? Where am I swimming in? Where am I swimming in? Where am I biking out? Where am I biking back in? Where am I running out? Where's the finish line? Little things like that, especially when you're moving, you know, anywhere from, you know, a couple miles an hour running to coming in and off your bike, and especially running, you don't want to have any confusion and have to lose some time there. So pay attention to your rack. You know, it's usually listed by distances, so, you know, it's also color coordinated to your wristband. So look at you know, where's my race distance categorized? You know, do I want to have my shoes on my pedals, or should I have them on my feet? You know, as far as exiting, you know, where's traffic flow going to be? You know, should I stay to the right there? Should I stay to the left? And looking at the ground, things like that as far as your transition goes. And it's easy to come in off of the swim and find your bike. It's easy to notice your bike, but it's when you're coming off of your bike, you know, you're all discombobulated. You're thinking about running. You're kind of losing your mind a little bit. It's best to know, you know, have a marker, whether it be a tree or a trash can, or put some duct tape on the ground. You know, little tips like that could help you really, you know, cut down on nervousness and make it a smooth race.
Yeah. You can use sidewalk chalk in the transition area. It's better for the environment, and it actually washes away after the race. A lot of people do that. I use a brightly colored red towel for my transition area. That way when I'm running up from the swim, I remind myself I'm 16 rows in, 1 row back, red towel, and then know right where to go. Another thing that may help newer athletes is to come the day before. They do have packet pickup on the Saturday prior to the race. It gives you a chance to get there, like Adam said, look at the swim course, get an overlay of the area, drive the bike course, know how bad the roads are in certain areas, know where your turns are. The arrows usually are marked by Saturday, so if you get there early enough and you're staying overnight, it's the perfect opportunity to go through your race strategy in real time in your car without having to waste your energy. I would recommend that you don't get on your bike and ride the whole course the day before a race unless you're an elite or Olympian, and that usually doesn't bother you too much. But for newer athletes, I'd say stay in your car, drive the course, go out, test the swim out a little bit, and maybe even check out where the run course comes in and out, like Adam said. One of the things that we do is we do a swim clinic at most of the Fit Family Series triathlons. Those usually start at 3, and you can purchase a ticket to the swim and the triathlon clinics that we put on the Saturday afternoons. You can get them on the HFP site per race details, or you can go to our website, which is www.prtryswimcoach.com.
You can also come to the race talks, and you can sign up day of as well, and that'd be a great time just to meet us, and we go over the course, the whole description, many things that we talked about today, and just give me little bits of of confidence that will help you just have a better peace of mind going into your race.
And a lot of times we like to make the course talks fun, so we make you laugh a little bit, hopefully. Another thing I'd like to try to talk about is once you're in the race, and this is something a lot of newer athletes tend to do, is they over exaggerate their race plan and they try to go way too hard, or they go out in the swim too fast and they almost die, or they go out on the bike and they forgot their helmet. Try to stay calm and stay in the moment when you're racing, and try to race the way you've trained. If you're swimming a 105 in your first 100 and you can only swim a 120 in training, you're going to be in a world of hurt coming off that swim, or hugging the first buoy and hanging out and waiting for the lifeguard to come. Speaking of lifeguards, if you have an issue in the swim, the best way to have resolve your situation, there's lifeguards on kickboards or swim boards out on the course. If you have a problem, yell for help, be loud. If you need to take your swim cap off and wave it, do that. Get to the swim person or the lifeguard that's closest to you, and you can hang on to their board until you feel calm enough. You can continue on, but you just cannot help, they cannot help you make forward progress. A lot of times it's better for your safety to hang on to their board, get yourself calm, and then start again. The buoys are not meant to be hung on or swam over or under. They're there for your guidelines. You're supposed to go around them without touching them, and that's just another note on the swim course.
And HFP does a great job coming up with safe courses that keeps traffic separate and keeping you close to shore, and puts plenty of lifeguards out there. And so just try to be aware of the course out there with your warm up. Go out there, and it's going to feel a little bit different to you when you're out there swimming. And if there's a little bit of current out there, there's other people swimming, but go out there during the warm up and get a little bit better visual of the course, and also with the stream start, it definitely takes down some anxiety and makes it a much safer course out there.
I really enjoy it too. It's a lot more fun, and you're actually racing against people that are near your speed without having the extreme congestion that some mass starts create. Another thing on the bike course when you're racing, two things that I caution you of are on downhills and uphills and steep curves, not to be in your aero bars. Aero bars were not meant for handling. They were meant for relatively rolling flats and straightaways where you can get as aerodynamic as possible. They're not meant for climbing and descending hills or taking tight corners. And talking about tight corners, it is your responsibility to know the bike course that is already printed on the website, and it's also your responsibility to stay to the right of the road within 3 feet of the white line, passing only on the left, and engaging that person vocally that you're passing helps to keep it safe. If you're making a left-hand or right-hand turn, you have to stay in the line of traffic, not passing on a turn, and you cannot cross over the yellow line at any time during a bike race.
Yeah, we see it too often. People riding too wide. You have a set amount of time. You have to make that pass and get over and stay right, because they're usually not closed courses. So it's best to stay near that white line and not ride too wide, and just be aware of the course, and be aware of potholes out there and gravel and tight turns. And that's why it's best to do your homework online ahead of time, and maybe even driving the bike course. You usually get into a situation of doing the recurring races every year where you know the course, but it's always best with a new course to go out and drive the bike course.
It is. It's especially important for your safety and the safety of the rest of the folks that are racing. It is 15 seconds you have to make a pass. 15 seconds goes by pretty quick when you're in a race. So you have 15 seconds to make a pass, and if you've been passed, then you have to drop back out of the draft, which is 3 bike lengths by USAT rules. You have to stay behind the person in front of you throughout the entire race. This isn't for selected people, this is for every person in the race. Has to remain 3 bike lengths behind the next person. If you can't stay back, then pass, and then you have 15 seconds to make that pass, and that's totally legal. The other thing I like to talk about is warm up. The morning of the race, I like to get there. I think sometimes we get to the race an hour and a half early. I like to swim at least 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, do a good stretch, get some electrolytes on board, some of your nutrition plan, and then get on the bike a little bit if you need to. Make sure you're in the right gear, get on the run a little bit, run your legs out, reset up your transition area, and then head back down to the swim and get yourself ready for your seed time send-off. Anything else you can think of, Adam? We'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Again, this is just to help you have a successful race and to make it safe for yourself and everybody out there. PR multi-sport triathlon coaching is something that we do. You can bring us in for an individual clinic of a small group or a large group. The prices depend on how many people you have, and we can do triathlon. And we also do swim clinics with underwater video analysis and stroke work. If you're interested in something like that, get with us. We're on the banner at the HFP site, which is easy to find on the top banner.
So guys, just remember, the bottom line to racing is just, celebrating life and just being out there and setting goals for yourself, and maybe it's losing weight, or maybe it's just working on some parts of your swim or bike or run, but it's just about, balance of life, of, getting away from your cell phone and your house and all the chores and all the traffic, and just getting out and just getting out on the road and just getting some miles in and having fun.
I agree. I think it's about being with people that you have like-minded association with, of pushing yourself to a limit. Maybe that's beyond what you ever thought you were capable of. Lifting up the others around you, cheering, screaming, high-fiving each other on the race course out there. And I just want to say a special thanks to my team, the PR Triathlon team, and my best training buddy Adam, and also to Shannon and Jen and the kids at the Couric family, Richard, who's our announcer, Joe the dog, and the rest of you guys out there that help volunteer for these races, because we wouldn't be able to race safely and get it done the way we do and get to enjoy the sport the way we do without the help of everybody in this community. Alright guys, remember, training is fun, racing is fun. Keep it safe, train like you race like you train.
See you at the next race.
Let's do this.